Hi, Simon here from crookedimaging.co.uk, and I've got another free tutorial here for you. Just a quick one, just to change your picture from looking normal to looking a bit wintry, adding a bit of snow, etc., etc., and good for Christmas cards and things like that. So, I've got a picture here, and we're going to make it go from this to this. And I've also got a church, which again would look good, nice and Christmassy on a Christmas card, but not like that. And we're going to go from this to this. So, let's get to it. Right, so let's start by editing a picture of my daughter. We need to open the picture first. A number of ways of doing it. Double click on it, or you can just drag it into Photoshop. And there we have the start picture. So the first thing we need to do, or we're going to do, is add a new adjustment layer. And we're going to select the channel mixer. And we are going to select the preset black and white infrared. And we're using that because foliage, green objects, things like that will become white or light. And that's good because we want to make it look snowy. So now, obviously that's converted it to black and white infrared. Now, we want to change the blend mode. And we're going to change the blend mode to lighten. So, although it's black and white, because we've changed the blend mode, it's brought some colour back into the picture. So already it looks a little bit more wintry now. It looks a bit colder. So we're going to add another adjustment layer, and this time we are going to adjust the curves. And we're going to adjust each colour separately. So to start off with, we're going to adjust the reds, and we're going to come down to the bottom. We can darken the reds a little bit. And then we're going to adjust the blues. Helps if I click on the right button. So blue, and we're going to go to the top and just drag that across a little bit. Like so. And then I'm going to adjust the green. There we go, something like that. Sorry, I didn't mean to close it. And then we're going to we're going to drag from the centre. We're going to select all the three colours, RGB. Just pull that up a little bit. Just sort of brightens it, bit more, adds a little bit of contrast. Something like that. Yep, I'm liking that now. Now we need to add another layer. Now this time I'm going to add another adjustment layer, and I'm just going to change the brightness and contrast a bit, and just add a bit more contrast to it, a bit more bite to the picture. There we go. So now that background's looking nice and snowy. I know the foreground isn't, but once we put the snowflakes on there and everything, you'll get the idea. And this can be applied to any type of picture. So this isn't just for a person. As I say, I'm going to show you the church as well, and we're going to do the same thing. Right. So now we need to make the snow. So we've kind of got the colour of the picture looking right. Yeah, it looks nice and cold. But we need to add some snow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new layer, just a blank layer, like so. And now you can see the new layer up there. And I'm going to add a marquee tool. I'm just going to draw a square, like so. And then I'm going to fill that marquee. So hit the fill button. And sorry, that's off on the wrong screen. And we'll get this menu come up here, and we want to set the contents to black, mode normal, and opacity 100%. Excellent. So what we're going to do with this is we are going to make our snow. So we're going to do filter, noise, add noise. Noise box is on the wrong screen, sorry about that. So when we add noise, we're going to set the amount to 100%. We're going to have Gaussian noise, and we want it to be black and white. So if it was colour, that's what it would look like. But we want it to be black and white. And as I say, 100% on the amount. We're going to hit OK. Now that's a bit random at the moment, so we're going to add a Gaussian blur to that noise. So we want to add a blur, a Gaussian blur, and that window's off the screen as well. And we want a radius of 3 pixels. That kind of softens the blur. And we'll hit OK. Still doesn't look much like snow, you're saying. So we now want to go to image, and then we want to go to adjustments and threshold. That threshold box is off the screen. Right, must do better. Right, so if you grab even this slider and just move it across until you've got around there, all spots of snow. So excellent. So now we've got some snowflakes, and they're just randomly generated. So hit OK, and then we want to change the blend of that to screen. Now it's not quite covering the whole picture, so I'm going to press Ctrl T, which is free transform. I'm just going to drag this box to fill the whole picture. There we go, and press Enter. And then push Ctrl D to deselect. So when we zoom in now, see we've got little specks that look pretty good, look pretty much like snow. And what I'm going to do is I'm just on that layer. I'm just going to add a very slight. If I zoom in, they still look a little bit solid. So I'm going to add a blur to those. Gaussian blur to these ones. As you can see, it just softens them a little bit, about 2 pixels. There we go. Just so they don't look quite so sharp, because obviously on when the snow's falling, they're not going to be really sharp. So I think they're looking pretty good. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat that again. I'm going to draw another square. Do another. Oh, I'll tell you what I need to do first. Control D. We need to add another layer first. So we're going to add another layer. Then another square box. And again, we're going to fill that with black. Then we're going to filter, add noise. Same again, Gaussian, monochromatic, and the amount will be the same. We're going to filter that. Going to blur it, Gaussian blur, 3 pixels again. Okay, so I'm going through this a bit quick because it's the same process as before, but I wanted to have more random snowflakes. I didn't want it to be exactly the same again, which is why I've done the process again. I've done a slightly different size box. And then we're going to do adjustment, threshold, and then do some more snow, like so. Okay. And again, change the blend to screen. There you go. As you can see, we've got some more snow now. So I'm going to do a Control T on that. Let's move these around a bit more. There we go. So we've got a bit more snow. What I'm going to do this time with that snow is I am going to put some motion blur on it. So motion blur, and the motion blur box on the wrong screen again. Right, sorry about that. There we go. And I'm going to change the angle because the snow will be going down. So now you can see that we have some snow. You can change how much it blurs. So I'm going to set that, I think that was good before, about 12 pixels. And hit OK. And there we have it. You can zoom in, and you can see that some of the snow looks like it's moving, as it would if you're outplaying it. Now I like that. Now that looks pretty good. But we can do one more thing to it just to just finish it off. So I'm going to push Control D to deselect that marquee box, and we're going to add another layer, another adjustment layer, and this time we're going to do a gradient. Make sure you've got white selected as your colour when you do that. I forgot to say that. We're going to put a radial gradient on there. There we go. But we want to reverse it so that we get white edge. We want to scale it so it's about 260. There we go. Move if you need to. You can see I can move it up and down. If I show you this, so we can make sure we've got it in the right place, you can move that up and down. So I reckon that's pretty good there. We'll do about 286, something like that. Maybe move it up a little bit higher. There we go. Okay. And there we have it. One picture looking more snowy, and again wouldn't look out of place on a Christmas card. So we have gone from, if I copy this layer, so duplicate layer, I'll call that original. Okay, pop that at the top. There's the original. Turn it off. That's what we have. Cool. Save that. Save it as your PSD file so that you make sure you save all your layers so you can come back and you can make other adjustments later on. If you want to adjust the colour, you can come back to your channel mixer. You can change the opacity if you want to. Maybe you want to put a little bit more colour in there. So if you leave all your layers, save it as a PSD file, you can come back later on and make any adjustments you need to. So we'll do that right now. File, save it as. And with 2020, you get the option to save to the cloud or to save on your computer. We're just going to save on the computer. Add in snow. I'll put that, change that to video in there, and hit save. Just bring that across so you can see. So always maximise for compatibility, so you can use older versions of Photoshop, etc. Hit OK. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to run through it a bit quicker though, but I'm going to do the same thing with the church, just to show you that you can do it with other pictures. So let's load up the picture of the church. There we have it. And first things first, new layer, and we are going to do channel mixer, and we are going to select black and white infrared, and we are going to change the blend mode to lighten, like so. So as you can see, grass looks a bit whiter, but it certainly still needs a bit more work. So then we are going to do curves, and we're going to go to red and select the bottom of it and go along here. Helps if I select it. There we go. So just take a bit of the red out a little bit. There, looking good. And green. About there. So the grass looks white, but a little bit. It's got a little bit of extra green in it now. And then we're going to do the blue. Just to balance it out a bit. There we go. Something like that. Now I think we need a bit more contrast in this picture now, so we are then going to brightness and contrast. Let's bump the contrast up a bit on there, like so. There we go. I think that looks good. Now, need to add a layer. Draw our box. Edit, fill, black, filter, noise, add noise, and again, Gaussian, monochromatic, filter, blur. We are going to do Gaussian blur, 3 pixels, and then we want to go to image, adjustment, threshold. This is to make our snow. There we go. There's some snow. And okay, change the blend to screen. And then Control T. The reason why I do this is just stretches it, makes the bits of snow look a bit bigger. There we go. As you can see, you stretch it, you stretch the bits of snow, makes them look a bit more realistic. We'll hit enter on there. And then I'm going to, whilst that layer is selected, do blur, Gaussian blur, and just blur it slightly. Just make it look a bit softer. There we go. And then Control D to deselect. Add another layer. And draw another marquee. There we go. Here we, edit, fill, black, filter, noise, add noise, filter, blur, Gaussian blur, 3 pixels again. There we go. And then image adjustment, threshold, make our snow. There we go, like so. After you've done a couple of these, it's pretty simple really, and the effect I think is pretty good. Right, there we go, bit of snow. Control T. Ooh. Let's change that to screen first. And there we can add some more snow to the picture. There we go. And then this time, as I say, add some motion blur into this snow. You can move it around as well to make sure it's not. There we go. There we go. Filter, blur, motion blur. There we go. Looks like it, because obviously the snow behind isn't going to be moving, or not going to appear to be moving quite as much as the snow in the foreground. So that's why we do this with the motion blur. About 23, 24, something like that. 22. There we go. Okay. And when you zoom in, you can see you've got some moving bits of snow. There we go. Just to finish it off, as before, just going to do gradient layer, radial, and reverse. And let me just make that a bit smaller. It's because it's reversed, the bigger we make it, the smaller it blends in, if that makes sense. There you have it. We can just move that across a little bit. There we go. So I just missed the edge. There we go. There you have it. One snowy church. And again, as I say, if you're not quite happy with the colours, you can go back in there and change the opacity. You can, if you just want to add a bit of green in there, as I say, always keep the levels. Keep the layers, and then you can come back if you need to, or add some words on there if you want to make it and say Happy Christmas or whatever. So there you go, adding snow to a picture. Pretty simple. As I say, few little actions to go through, but the effect's pretty good, as you can see, and that, as I say, can be applied to anything. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications of when we're putting up new videos, as we are putting them up more frequently now. And yeah, share if you think it's useful, and comment below if you don't agree with something, whatever. But yeah, thanks for watching, and see you again soon. Thanks for now.